Mr. Samuel Higgs, big shot investigative reporter.
Didn't think you'd ever be back in here.
I'd gladly slash your tires, but that mean you couldn't leave town. And you are leaving town right after this, right? 'Cause if you aren't, well, Nick's memory only goes so far. That's what I thought.
Come on, it ain't worth it. Making friends already, I see.
Declan, been a while.
Hey, careful. I'd rather not be working tonight. And you always seem to angry up everyone's blood.
I'm only here to pay my respects to Nick. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, shame that. You watch yourself.
I think it's time I go put up a photo at the memorial board. That's what people do, right?
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Folge von Twin Mirrors mit mir, dem Jan. Mal sehen, was wir hier so haben. Erstmal nix Leichenschmaus. Ich habe es kaum bis in die Kneipe geschafft und die Dinge haben bereits eine eigenartige Wendung genommen. Joanne ist von der Idee besessen, dass der Tod ihres Vaters kein Unfall war. Sie will, dass ich der Sache nachgehe. Ich kann es nicht aus dem Kopf bekommen. Es ist, als wäre ein Teil von mir erwacht, der lange geschlummert hat. Nimm am Leichenschmaus teil, erweise Nick die letzte Ehre. Declan Stephens. Der Kleine ist der örtliche Gesetzeshüter. Ich erinnere mich noch vage aus der Schulzeit an ihn. Er geriet oft in Schlägereien, meist um kleinere Kinder zu beschützen. Niemand war überrascht, dass er Polizist wurde. Joel. Als die Mine stillgelegt wurden, haben alle Bergleute in Bestwood ihre Arbeit verloren. Ich sollte sie ganz sicher nicht provozieren. Willkommen aus der Berggrabarbeit. Ich habe den Bergarbeiter ignoriert und der versucht hat, in der Kneipe mit mir Streit anzufangen.
Declan lacks subtlety, but he loves this town like no one else.
You always did know how to start a ruckus. Can't say I missed that.
Old-timers in general already don't like me, and the article just made it worse.
Hey, Sam, why don't you drink to Nick on the other side of the bar?
That's the guy who got the mine closed.
I can't believe he showed up.
Holzschnitzerei, vermutlich von Ethans Schwester angefertigt. Angesenkt, damit es Kohle aussieht.
It's supposedly the spirit of coal. Doesn't really belong here anymore.
Dann darf niemand außer Ethan rein.
He's owned this bar for almost a decade and still can't afford another employee.
Not really. You just quoted him a couple of times and I thought it sounded good.
Walter can be overwhelming at times, but he means well.
And you should read Great Expectations.
It's a masterpiece.
So I had to throw them all out on their ear, and only then did I realize.
Ah, Samuel, my favorite ex-muckracker. Join us, join us.
How was the funeral?
Wasn't there. Setting up for this.
Everyone came, most of the town, it felt like. A sea of sad, wet eyes. I gave the eulogy. Felt hollow, so hollow. He worked for me for years. For years, my best reporter. What do you even say about him?
war ein Teamlehrer, war sehr penibel, war ein...
Remember that article? Something about stoplights? No one cared, but he did. Months of effort.
Yield signs. He approached each story with his pen like a knight wielding a sword.
It's the small things. Like he always kept his window down. Said cars made him claustrophobic. That's how he stays with us. The little details.
I remember the bar bets about that safe spot in Pac-Man. He got me one night.
Yeah, got me once too. Can't believe it's real.
Enough about Nicholas, enough. Tell me, how have you been, Sam? How have you really been?
I spend all day doing nothing. I don't even count days. They just blur together. Nick's death barely hit me. It was like a pinprick compared to just everything.
Time heals most wounds. Some it just makes worse. Sounds like you need something to pull you out of your rut.
Well, I think I've taken enough of your gents' time.
Go, mingle, circulate, but you must join us for an actual round later. You must.
Oh, Walter, can I ask you something?
Questions are the fountainhead of knowledge.
Nick's crash. Was there anything suspicious about it?
I asked myself the same thing. The very same thing. It did seem odd. Young Nicholas, a careful man in all things, including driving. I looked into it myself. You know what I found?
What?
A tragic accident with nothing amiss. I am both relieved and saddened to say.
Ah,
Life is rarely like a crime thriller, and while I don't mind you asking, some might find it a distasteful conversation at a man's memorial. Especially from you.
I'll keep that in mind.
See that you do, my boy. See that you do.
Wurde schon seit Jahren, Jahrzehnten nicht ersetzt.
That's where Nick and I sat every time he dragged me out for drinks after work.
Sammy! Oh, it's been ages.
Tara?
Oh, me? I've had this stomach thing lately, always churning. And this thing with Nick, his car went up like a Sunday ham. He burned alive, you know. Have you met Hugh? He took over the old pharmacy just after you left.
No.
The infamous Sam. I've read that article you wrote on the mine. You must have put in a lot of legwork on that.
It took reading thousands of public records, but a pattern emerged of willful negligence.
You are a bulldog. A dangerous man to anyone using power to exploit others.
That's nice of you to say.
Oh, don't hesitate to drop by the pharmacy sometime.
Oh, and Sam, you...
But for now, I have a feeling you're not here for us.
Oh, right. Don't be a stranger, Sam.
But no more than 3,000 milligrams.
I thought it was 4,000.
That's what crooked pharmacy.
Can't believe this whole thing's still working.
Erinnerung.
Daddy, 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 open your eyes and wake up. The kids and I've been busy sit yourself down. Now you should know how much
Ach ja.
Nick and I spent so much money on this machine.
Wird von Garagenbands verwendet. Ethan versucht, die lokale Szene zu unterstützen. Das leichte, kurze Bein an der Rückseite verschafft Stammgästen einen Vorteil. Ein Blick auf Basewood, die Kneipe, an die sie vergessen haben, sich zu erinnern, von Walter Dodson. Es ist leicht, die Orte zu übersehen, die unsere Heimatstadt so vertraut wirken lassen. Der Cole, meiner Heaven, ist ein solcher Ort. Der Besitzer Ethan Morrow hat dafür gesorgt, dem Namen des Etablissements treu zu bleiben, indem er die Wände mit all den tapferen Arbeitern, die im Laufe der Jahre in Basewood eingekehrt waren, schmückte. Ethan hat zwar vielleicht noch nicht den Gipfel erklommen, aber er bleibt optimistisch. Die Lage ist nicht leicht, aber glücklicherweise glauben die Leute immer noch, mich beim Dart schlagen zu können. Geben Sie ihm eine Chance, wenn Sie vorbeigehen. Die Preise sind günstig, das Bier ist kalt und Ethan vergisst niemals den Namen eines Gastes. Die Bezahlung zog damals viele Leute an. Ein Wahrzeichen Basewoods wechselt den Besitzer von Nick Waldron. Der erfahrene Gastwirt Ethan Morrow wird den Coal Miners Heaven vor seinem jetzigen Besitzer Carl Edwards übernehmen. Der Coal Miners Heaven ist eine der wenigsten Kneipen in Basewood, die bereits seit der Prohibition, während der er als Flüsterkneipe begann, bestehen. Das sagte Ethan zu der Veränderung. Es wird sich nicht viel ändern. Die Kneipe ist für viele hier wie ein zweites Zuhause und das soll so bleiben. Er hat vor, Edwards Sammlung von Dekorationen zu behalten und im Laufe der Jahre zu erweitern. Notiz am Management. Warnung an betrunkene Gäste. Ich bezweifle, dass jemand das liest.
Some people can play this game drunk. Anna was best at 3 beers.
Everyone here seemed to really like my dad.
Of course they did, Bug.
Everyone's nice in that creepy way. It's weird. Even Anna's weird.
You seen Anna? How is she? Is she here tonight?
Yeah, she's getting ready.
Getting ready for what?
Well, I don't know. Something? I've been avoiding her. She's kind of like mothering me. A lot. Like, a lot. And my own mom is already too much mom. You know? Do you ever just watch people?
It's pretty much all I do.
Me too. But I don't always like what I see.
So, Sam, how's life been treating you?
Could be better. My best friend just died.
No need to snap at me, Sam. I ain't the enemy here. And your allies are in short supply, so be careful what you say. You staying in town long?
Not really. Why? You think I'm gonna disturb the peace or something?
Huh. Wouldn't be your first time. Have a nice evening, Sam.
Okay.
There was no love lost between Kathy and Nick since their divorce, but anyone can see she's taking his death hard. Kathy,
Sam, you actually came.
I know you two haven't been together for a long time, but I'm still sorry.
We hadn't been close in years, but he was my daughter's father. I'll miss him. Joan was really hurt when you left town. Nick and I were never close after the breakup, and Joan's never had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Maybe don't break her heart this time when you leave town, all right?
Hard to make promises. I don't do well with those in Joan.
I've noticed.
But I'll try.
Sam, I'm gonna hold you to that.
You're a lot like Pac-Man, Sam.
I consume everything in my path?
You find every last bite. The mine closing wasn't your fault. Your investigation just hurried things up. You probably saved some lives, you know.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Muley.
You piece of...
Language.
Is that a wedding ring?
I didn't know you were thinking about marriage.
Oh, it's just... It feels like the right thing to do.
Dad, what's the point of getting married?
Well, it's just one of those things people do, Bug. Here, you can play.
Someone has to show you grown-ups. Video games are the realm of the young.
Have you talked to Anna about this?
That's kind of the point. I'll talk to her about it when I show her the ring.
If you say so. Hey, just remember I'm here, right? If you need anything. Anything but my arcade secrets. Those I'll take to the grave.
Sorry we lost touch. Sorry I lost touch. Rest up, big guy. This photo always looked weird. Nick could never keep a straight face. He was more her best friend than a dad. I wonder who took that picture. Happier times. We drove straight to the sea after work on a Friday. Hell of a weekend. Bug was so small back then. Look at us. Those two were a great team.
Samuel, guess I lost the bet.
Bet?
Yeah, that bet you'd never come back to Basswood? Not after you went careening out of town like a bat out of hell the instant that article broke bad.
That wasn't the reason I left town.
Oh, you think it was that girl of yours? You left because the town hated your guts.
What are you even doing here, Dennis? You and Nick become friends or something?
Nope. He thought I was a drunk, which I am. And I thought he was a hack, which he was.
This coming from the IT guy. Didn't know resetting passwords could give you a journalism degree.
It can. But it does give me less patience for people who sling mud my way. Relax. I'm just playing. At least tell me how you've been.
Es war hart, ehrlich gesagt. Als ob dich das interessiert.
Yeah, like you'd care.
Not too much. But suit yourself if you want to be like that. Anyway, cheers to Nick. A man that, unlike us, people actually liked. Speaking of which...
As time draws near, my dearest dear, when you and I must part, how little you know of the grief and woe in my poor aching heart. 'Tis but I suffer for your sake. Believe me, dear, that's true. I wish that you were staying here.
Tagebuch aktualisiert. Sprich mit Anna. Ach du Scheiße. Ethan. Ein Kleinstadtwirt, der mehr zuhört, als dass er redet. Ethans Kneipe muss das einzige gut gehende Geschäft in Basswood sein. Katie. Katie und Nick haben jung geheiratet und sich schnell scheiden lassen. Obwohl ich der Patenonkel ihrer Tochter bin, bin ich nicht sicher, ob sie mich je gemocht hat. Walter. Bei Walter weiß man genau, woran man ist. Seine Trauer um Nick ist aufrichtig. Tara. Tara, die Bürokauffrau beim Bestwood Jungle, ist die sprichwörtliche verschobene Kollegin. Sie mag alles und jeden. Dinosaurier, schnulzige Liebesromane, Bibelfernsehen, Verschwörungstheorie, Reisekekse, ungewöhnliche Straßennamen, was auch immer es ist. Sie kann stundenlang darüber reden. Hutch. Hutch ist neu in der Stadt. Aber wie es aussieht, versteht er sich einzubringen. Andererseits ist es Teil seines Berufes als Apotheker, sich einzubringen. Aber es ist trotzdem anständig von ihm, dass er zu nix Leichenschmaus gekommen ist. Dennis. Dennis ist der IT-Typ bei der Zeitung, für die ich mal gearbeitet habe. Ich erinnere mich an ihn als einen verbitterten und fiesen Kerl, ein Einzelgänger, der nicht viele Freunde in Basewood hat. Das bin ich zwar auch, aber das macht uns nicht zu verwandten Seelen.
Bess always had a soft spot for Nick. I think she liked his work ethic. Anna used to play it almost every night. She stopped after her father's accident. Has it really been 2 years since I saw her? She hasn't changed a bit.
Annas Gitarre. Weißt du noch, wie Anna versucht hat, Gitarre spielen zu lernen? Wie sie früh aufstand, um vor der Arbeit noch zu üben? So bist du immer aufgewacht und hast ihr zugehört, wie sie Akkordfolgen gezupft hat, bevor du ihr Kaffee gebracht hast. Damals war sie glücklich. Selbst wenn ihre Gitarre schon damals ihre eigene Geschichte voller Traurigkeit und Verlust hatte. Du hast Annas Mutter nie kennengelernt und sie sprach kaum von ihr. Aber in den wenigen Momenten, in denen sie es tat, sprach sie immer davon, wie sehr sie es liebte, Musik im Haus zu haben. Ihre Mutter hat immer alte Volkssongs auf ihrer Gitarre gespielt, die sie gemeinsam sangen, während sie an den langen Nachmittagen ihrer Kindheit mit überkreuzten Beinen auf dem Boden hockten. Anna verlor ihre Mutter, als sie noch ein Teenager war. Aber selbst in den darauffolgenden Jahren der Trauer, der Konflikte und der Flucht hielt sie an der Gitarre ihrer Mutter fest, auch wenn sie nie gelernt hatte, darauf zu spielen. Stattdessen verließ sie Basewood, ging aufs College und kam als Journalistin zurück, die Geschichten über ihre Heimatstadt schrieb. Erinnerst du dich noch an den Artikel, den sie über den alten Musikladen an Gosneck Hill geschrieben hat? Walter teilte ihr diese Aufgabe zu, weil niemand anderes sie haben wollte. Ihr Artikel rettete den Laden, nicht vor den Bankrott, aber der Besitzer kam persönlich vorbei, um sich zu bedanken. Er gab ihr als Dankeschön kostenlosen Unterricht, so lernte sie zu spielen.
Anna?
Sam! I've missed you. Why did it take so long for you to darken my doorstep?
I won't lie, it really hurt coming back. I stopped by Lookout Point on the way here.
Sam, why'd you do that to yourself?
A desire to open old wounds? The old-timers gave me hell when I came in, too.
People around here have short tempers.
and long memories.
But most of them mean well. Sam, the mine was gonna close anyways. Maybe in a year or 2, 5, if the Lord has a sense of humor. It was gonna run dry or have an even bigger disaster. It wasn't your fault.
I wish everyone else understood that.
People are scared. Mad. You were easy to blame. When my father lost his legs, nobody knew the mine wasn't following regulations. You were the only one who started asking questions. Whenever people talk about you, he always says, you did the right thing.
Yeah, well, your dad's Joe. He's an oak. Unmoving and annoyingly supportive.
It wasn't just him. Nick thought your piece was great. He was actually jealous. He always wanted to write something that shook the pillars of heaven, as he used to put it. You know, Nick and I had moved in together. It started to get serious. But I think it's only now I realize how much I cared for him.
Wait, you and Nick started going out? When did this happen?
A few months ago. He never told you? He asked me to let him be the one to say something. You two had been so close.
He probably tried. I hadn't been answering his calls.
Ah. That's the worst part, right? Anything broken just stays broken now. But this was all nice. The funeral, the wake. Walter did a good job. But it all just makes me feel heavy. It makes my heart hurt. Like Nick's memory has been laid on top of me and I'm still carrying him.
Nick's death. Do you know if he had any enemies? Working on anything dangerous?
Whew. Now this is a real can of worms.
This is a wake.
I know that.
Do you? This isn't the time to be digging and pushing. You always do this. You always... I get it. You're still you, huh? You'll always still be you, Sam. I hope you never change, but I can't handle this right now. I'm gonna go home. I hate that his stuff is all over my house. Then drink and cry all night. You do what you need to do. See you around.
Samuel, come. Have a round with me.
I need a drink or two. Or 3. And then I'll go. There was no love lost between Kathy and Nick since their divorce. But
Es war unsensibel, Anna nach Nicks Tod zu fragen. Natürlich wurde mir das erst klar, nachdem ich die Worte schon ausgesprochen hatte, aber an irgendeinem Punkt muss ich einfach fragen. Anna, wie die davon kamen. Wäre mein Leben anders verlaufen? Anna und Nick, was für ein Klischee. In dem Moment, in dem ich Basewood verlasse, kommen mein bester Freund und meine Ex zusammen. Vielleicht hätte ich damit besser umgehen sollen. Bohrende Fragen über Nicks Tod zu stellen, ist ebenfalls nicht sonderlich gut angekommen. Nur eine Unterhaltung und schon hatte ich Anna wieder enttäuscht.